Assalamu alaikum students. I am here with a new topic related to Introduction to Literature Part 4th. The topic is naturalism. This movement and this philosophy is also one of the important philosophies of 19th century. First of all, we will define what naturalism is. In philosophy, naturalism is the idea or belief that only natural laws operate in the universe. What is the main idea related to naturalism? It is in philosophy that the idea or belief which is only give us a concept that natural laws operate in the universe. Other than natural laws, nothing is acceptable so far as this philosophy is concerned. Naturalism is not so much a special system as a point of view or tendency common to a number of philosophical and religious systems. It is not so much a well defined act, a set of positive and negative doctrines as an attitude or spirit pervading and influencing many doctrines. It is not well defined set of positive and negative doctrines as an attitude or spirit pervading and influencing many doctrines. You can also say that the tendency of naturalism consists essentially in looking upon nature as the one original and fundamental source of all that exists. All that exists means whatever present in the universe, everything is related to the nature. Nature is the fundamental and original source, and in attempting to explain everything in terms of nature, so whatever is present in universe, everything is related to nature. So the explanation of related to all these things would be in terms of nature. Either the limits of nature are also the limits of existing reality, or at least the first cause if its existence is found necessary. It has nothing to do with the working of natural agencies. And finally, you can say that all events find their adequate explanation within nature itself. Whatever the action is, whatever the thing which is present or which is under consideration, that will be defined, that will be explained so far as nature itself is concerned. But as the terms nature and natural are themselves used in more than one sense, the term naturalism is also far from having one fixed meaning. So, according to this last sentence, we can say that naturalism can be defined in many different ways, but basically, this is the idea which gives us a belief that only natural laws operate in the universe. And you can also say that naturalism applies scientific ideas and principles such as instinct and Darwin's theory of evolution to fiction. Darwinian theory of evolution has been taken into consideration so far as fiction of 19th century is concerned. And authors in this movement wrote stories in which the characters behave in accordance with the impulses and drives of animals in nature. The tone is generally objective and distant, and it is also like that of a botanist and biologist, as if they are taking notes or preparing a treatise. So we can say that naturalist writers believe that truth is found in natural law, and because nature operates according to consistent principles, consistent patterns, and consistent laws, so truth is also consistent so far as naturalism is concerned. The main focus of naturalism is human nature. Stories in this movement are character driven rather than plot driven. The main idea which you must take in your mind, you must have to take in your mind, that is that naturalism is mainly concerned with characters rather than plots. And in earlier stories, in earlier fictional works, plot was considered to be the most significant part of the story. Although those writers also tried their level best to give importance to the characters, but their main focus was plot. Whereas in naturalism, or in this philosophy, or in this movement, the writers who are following this school of thought, this philosophy, they are mainly concerned with characters. The main writer, so far as naturalism is concerned, that is Emile Zola. And Emile Zola is the most important, most significant writer. He is a French writer, and he gave different views on naturalism. For example, he wrote his manifesto, Le Roman Experimental in French, and the Experimental or Experiential Novel in English. This was a manifesto presented by Emile Zola, and this manifesto is consisted of the ideas Emile Zola on naturalism. First of all, in France it started, and then afterwards it reached the peak of its accomplishment in the United States. And we will discuss this particular idea in the background, historical background of naturalism. But first, here I am concerned with Emile Zola. The fundamental naturalist doctrine is presented in Zola's 1880s essay, which I have told you, the experimental or experiential novel. And in this work, Zola claims that the naturalist writers subject believable characters and events to experimental conditions. Whatever their characters are, whatever their events are, they are going to take all these things to experimental conditions. Like these writers take the known characters into the unknown, into the unfamiliar place. A known character, when it is taken to an unfamiliar place, it is called that the writer is following naturalist thought. The idea or theory of determinism is the main concept so far as naturalism is concerned. A person's fate is determined solely by factors and forces beyond an individual's personal control, such as heredity and environment. So we can say that Emile Zola explained the same idea in his work, the experimental or experiential novel. And he said that a person's fate is determined solely by factors and forces. That person's fate is already determined beyond an individual's personal control. That you are not a free agent in this universe. You are not doing anything according to your own free will. Now I am talking about historical context, or you can say that the background. And the first point is this realistic period in American literature. So far as the background of this movement is concerned, first we will talk about the American history. Realism preceded naturalism in America, and we can say that and the two are closely related. Both aim for realistic portrayals of everyday life, and both incorporate a great deal of detail. Means realism and naturalism both are working in the same way, and both are working for realistic portrayals of everyday life, and both incorporate a great deal of detail. Realism arose after the Civil War, a traumatic period in national disillusionment in which approximately 6 lakh Americans died. After the Civil War, Americans soberly set about trying to recreate their lives. A new kind of American fiction emerged in the wake of widespread disillusionment. The disillusionment of Civil War, which was present in the minds of the people. All the Americans wanted to recreate their own lives just to make their life better, just to make their life more comfortable as compared to the earlier life. Public education developed, creating a broader readership, and new laws helped protect copyrights. These developments meant that more writers could enjoy viable careers. Authors of fiction found ready audiences for their unsentimental works. Before naturalism, romanticism and idealized side of life was presented, but with the help of naturalist theory or naturalist school of thought, writers were there to use or to present the characters from everyday life, as well as their main focus was on the unsentimental works. Within realism, minor movements such as pragmatism emerged. Writers of this period who became prominent include Mark Twain, William Dean Howells, and Henry James. In realism, right? In poetry, Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, and Sidney Lanier were writing. In drama, little change was evident. Fictional work was related to novels, was workable, and writers ventured in the field of writing novels, but not in drama. The melodrama and fanfare that typified drama prior to realism continued to find audiences. Main thing which was the demand of that age, that was to find the audience. If audience did not try to show any sort of interest in drama, so drama had to face failure. That's why everybody ventured into the field of novel, because people wanted to have more novels, more stories as compared to dramas. Another aspect of historical background is science and technology, and in this regard we can say the early 19th century was a period marked by advances in technology and science, and it created a social environment in which the intellect was considered superior to emotions and to traditional blindly accepted beliefs. Students, keep this thing in your mind, and it is very important that 19th century marked a sort of greater change, a rapid change. That change was related to a sort of social environment which in which intellect was superior to emotions. Intelligibility was superior to your emotions, and people were not following the traditional beliefs blindly. Now they had to think things about the following, what to follow and what not to follow. And in that century, Max Planck opened up a new world of physics when he discovered a quantum nature of energy. 5 years later, Albert Einstein developed the special theory of relativity, and in 1915 he developed the general theory. So these were the advancements and developments in the field of science, which were very important and remarkable. Along with these advances in physics revolutionized scientific thought, and this new way of thinking shaped not only the sciences but also the arts, economics, and politics. So one thing is very important in reading about or learning about any school of thought or any philosophy or any movement, that is not only related to science and technology or only arts or only economics or only politics, but in the long run every movement had a greater impact on all aspects of life. This new way of thinking revolutionized the different fields of life, and by the turn of the century, the United States was well on its way to being an industrialized nation. After the Civil War, the spirit of industrialism that had been born in the North took a new fervor, took a new excitement, and it was time to repair the nation and its economy. Progress was made in the fields of communication, transportation, and manufacturing. So, first I told you that this advancement in science and technology helped in the, bringing revolution or in revolutionizing or in bringing different sorts of changes in the fields of arts, economics, and politics along with sciences. But now I'm again telling you that it industrialized the American nation. After Civil War, the spirit of industrialism that had been born in the North took on new fervor, and it was time to repair the nation and its economy. Progress was made in the field of communication, transportation, and manufacturing. When transportation is there, when communication scales are good or better, and when different things are being manufactured in the country, it means the economy is going to have a sort of progress. It's going to be stable, it's going to be stabilized, it's going to be balanced. In motor company, for example, we can quote Henry Ford, who founded Ford Motor Company in 1903, and in the same year we have another motorized plane and opened the first automotive assembly line in 1913. General Motors Corporation was founded in 1908, and these were the main advancements so far as technology is concerned. So far as the intellectual world is concerned, we can say that new thinkers revolutionized the ways in which people understood their world. Charles Darwin challenged the traditional religious concept of the origin of human beings. So this was the main challenge of 19th century, through which the Darwinian theory was challenged. And on the contrary, we can say, in opposite terms, we can say that Darwinian theory also challenged the traditional belief of human birth, of human origin. Karl Marx challenged traditional views on economics and social class, and Auguste Comte initiated the philosophy of positivism, which claims that the purpose of knowledge is merely to describe, not to explain the world. And the field of sociology, which focuses on observing, quantifying, and predicting social phenomena. So, in first biological field, human origin field, then economical field, and afterwards theory of positivism came into being in this century. And all these things, all these aspects were the great challenges for the writers of that age. Advances in science and technology led to widespread acceptance of rationalism and scientific inquiry. And we can quote here that among the arts, this attitude was especially noticeable in literature. And moving away from the realms of feelings and relationships, writers approached their craft as a medium of understanding the human psyche. So the human psyche was very much important so far as the challenges of that age was concerned. Writers were inspired less by their desire to provide readers with escape and more by desire to depict the world as it is. So far as Romanticism was concerned, writers used to write stories, poetry, poems, long narrative poems, or short narrative poems, and they presented an idealized side of life, as well as they gave the idea of escapism. They gave dreamlike situation to the readers, to the audience. But with the help of naturalism, the writers, the people who tried to write something, they ventured in presenting the clear-cut real portrait of life. I am again saying that the real portrayal of life, the life as it is, was presented by the writer so far as naturalism was concerned. There are greater similarities in naturalism and realism, but there are some differences also. And what are these? Naturalism suggests a philosophical pessimism in which writers use scientific techniques to depict human beings as objective and impartial character. So take this point that philosophical pessimism is presented in naturalism. You can say this, you can quote Thomas Hardy's, whom most of the time we use a term for him, Millerist, right? But mostly critics call him pessimist writer, whereas realist writers focuses on literary techniques. They use different literary techniques. This is the main difference. In naturalism, writers portray a deterministic view of characters, actions, and life. The life or action, the fate is determined, predetermined, and now the action which is being taken, that was determined already. Realism depicts things as they are. Realism gives us the idea if action is going to happen, there will be some result of it. Naturalism concludes that natural forces predetermine a character's decisions, making him or her act in a particular way. Whereas realism says that a decision of a character comes from his response to a certain situation. For example, if a person is gloomy on the loss loss of human being, loss of money, or loss of any opportunity for which he was working or for which he was looking for. So if he is becoming gloomy, it means there was a certain situation, that's why he became gloomy. Whereas naturalist school of thought says that natural forces predetermine a character decision. That character which is going to decide something, to do something which he wants to uh, have in his life, that is predetermined. Means the person is not there, or character is not there to have an idea, to have a decision about his own life. What are the functions of realism? Realism leaves colossal impact. It gives a great impact. When we feel that our fate is predetermined, our decision which we are going to take in our life, these are written already, so it will have some great impact on our personality. It always leading to evolution of modern movement, and the works which are written under the movement of naturalism expose dark aspects of life. For example, we can take nature, that nature is all the time, so far as romantic school of thought is concerned, that nature is our companion, nature is our friend, nature is any power, any object for a person which is missing in his own life, and he can take refuge or shelter in nature. But naturalism gives us the idea about the dark aspect of nature also. There is a bleak picture of nature also, and this also can be found in Thomas Hardy's novel easily. It gives us the idea of prejudice and racism. Naturalism, when we are going to present the real portrayal of life, we have to give the clearer insight of the people. I'm not talking about the psychological insight, I'm talking about the characters as they are. We have already said that in naturalism, main focus is on character, not on the plot. It gives us the idea about the presentation of poverty, filth, prostitution, or disease. These are the main topics on which naturalism focuses on. When there is a miserable condition of life, there is a predicament of human life, and people, not only the females but males, had also come towards prostitute themselves, to make them the prostitutions, to sell their bodies for the sake of the money, to make themselves comfortable, to have the good idea of life. And different diseases were also there for which they were unable to treat them, and they needed lots of money. The works under this school of thought are blunt in nature, hence receive criticism. As we are going to present the idea about prejudice, racism, poverty, filth meaning any sort of garbage or negative things of life, and prostitution or disease, it means these are going to have been criticized by the people, so they receive criticism. So far as the importance or popularity of these works is concerned, how much the critics are going to criticize these things, they will be more valuable. Pessimist though these works are, but try to improve human condition. Although these works, the naturalist works, are pessimist in their approach, it looks from the surface, it looks from, when we read between the lines, that we are going to read some pessimist picture of life, or bleak picture of life. But they are, most of the times they give us the idea about the improvement in human condition. How can we improve the human condition? Means if the writer, naturalist writer, has presented one aspect of life, and the readers are going to have that idea about that situation, that if we are going to have this sort of situation in our life, it will create this sort of impact on us, on our life. So we should try to improve. It means we are not only going to read the novels or fictional works, but we are going to improve our life as well. This is all for the first part of naturalism.